You're watching 7 Days of Grace with Keith Fleming. 7-minute conversations, 7 areas of life, 7 days a week. If you're lonely, dissatisfied, unfulfilled, or searching for purpose, then the 7 Days of Grace community is for you. All right, let the journey begin. Here's your host, Keith Fleming.
This is episode 5, Eye of the Storm, I'm titling it, and the adopted persona. Okay? So we're going to get going here. There's this song, and it has a line in it. It says, "Been sold out by my friends and my family." So at the end of my 40-year journey, I realized that I had been sold out by my friends and my family and this world. Welcome to 7 Days of Grace. My name is Keith. I'm here to tell you, you've been born into a world where self-sufficiency, independence, relying on your own strength is taught, and it's encouraged daily, right? We're told to ignore our weaknesses by focusing in on our strengths. We're taught survival of the fittest. Look around your own life. The evidence is everywhere. Pride, arrogance, entitlement, and etc. The list goes on and on and on, right? Unknowingly, we have adopted the adopted persona. We've taken on this persona, and I'm going to explain what that really means to you. And you know what? This adopted persona, by the way, is a coping mechanism of the world. And I want to talk a little bit about that, but it's the world's programming, and it becomes this way of just getting along and dealing and living and operating in this world. So the philosophies, values, beliefs, and the mindset have blinded and overtaken this world. I've been noticing in my own life's journey that all around me are patterns, and I could see that I was following the script that I was given unknowingly. The script is part of the world system, as I said. You go to school, you go to college, and then you get a job, you get married, you have children, and then you work at this job or you work for 65 years, then you retire and you die. Okay, there's nothing inherently wrong with that list. Well, maybe the last part about dying, that's not fun, that's not cool. But for me, the promises that were attached to the systems of this world are what I have a problem with. And I wasn't feeling like I was fulfilled or getting satisfaction or getting what I thought was the promises. In fact, more times than not, I think I've been worked by the system rather than working the system. How about you? All around me, I could see, for myself and others, you can see it every day. Ultimately, people are depressed. They're tired, they're worn out, they're lonely, and unsatisfied, and all kinds of other things on the list that we've been talking about, right? Something is terribly wrong. So let me back up a little bit and tell you about my journey. And I want to tell you about the song, Eye of the Storm by Ryan Stevenson, and how it helped me wake up from this reality. First, everyone's dying to be special. Literally, people are dying to feel wanted, appreciated, and validated. So the search begins. Identity. Who are you? What are you all about? Where are you going in this life? Your identity is in part, it comes from your values. What are values? Well, at the core, values are the things that you feel that are important to you. Where do we get our values? From our parents, from our teachers, from our friends, from our employees and employers, and role models from television and sports. The problem is you didn't set up these values, not consciously. You simply adopted them. You took them at face value for what they're worth. And you have become an unconscious part of this world because you've never stopped long enough to ask and evaluate what's most important. What do I value most? What are my values? Not what mom or dad or your friends or anybody else said. but what is important to you. So let's talk about your values. In the comments below, let me know what you value most in this world and in your life. I would love to hear that, and we all could talk about it and share, and maybe we could even prioritize these values, which we're going to talk about later. Look, your values are most likely adopted, as I said, and that means your philosophy of life is adopted. Even your mindset is impacted by what other people say is important. And if you haven't stopped long enough to answer that question and really understand what your values are, and why you have those values, meaning what's the impact of having those values for your life? What's the destiny and direction it's going to take you because of these values? Then you have set a course. Really, you're on autopilot for a course that you didn't even define. That's crazy. So autopilot to me is another way of saying drifting. I've been talking about drifting, right? You just don't want to aim aimlessly. You don't want to just drift through life without a plan or direction or knowing why and where you're going, or without a purpose. Can you imagine 5, 10, maybe 40 years later, you look up and realize you've been drifting? That's a sad situation. So please write down your top 10 values, the things that you feel are the most important for you in your life. Put them in the comments. We're going to circle back and talk about these values. All right, I'll see you in the next video.
Go ahead, join the 7 Days of Grace community by subscribing, turning the notifications bell to all, and get into Journey conversations by leaving your comments. Let Keith know what areas of life you want to talk about on future videos. Click on the compass icon and pick your area of interest for deeper discussions, groups, events, and more. Remember, people are lonely, unhappy, and need community. Share this message with your friends and family and make their day.